Hello and welcome to Gav Tries to Fix. My family came back from the supermarket and one of the kids had dropped this battery-powered fan in the supermarket, breaking it. So my wife said, "Can you take a look at it?" So here it is on the bench. So I pulled the back off it, which I'll fast forward through here, and decided to have a look inside. And my wife had told me there was some broken plastic, which certainly turned out to be the case. It took a little bit of getting apart, but inside there's two batteries, but they weren't actually offering any power at all. It just wasn't switching on. But you can see at the bottom there's some sheared plastic, which is meant to support the lower battery clip. So I powered up my bench power supply and gave it the 3 volts it would require from the two AA batteries at 1.5 volts each. Took a bit of a touch in the leads there because there's not a good surface, but got them on the springs, give it some juice. So once I actually switched the supply on, you can sort of see that the fan is now spinning correctly. So there's no problem with the motor or the switch. So it has to be this sheared plastic at the bottom of the case. My theory was that the contacts weren't making contact because the sheared plastic meant that there wasn't enough pressure on the bottom of it to push it up against the battery correctly. So what I decided to do is shim it with a bit of cardboard. So all that excess Amazon packaging is actually useful for something. So I cut off a strip of the thick card that a package had come wrapped in and just worked out a way to wedge it by cutting it to the right size in the bottom of the compartment so that the battery clip would be pressed firmly against the batteries, because I know there's nothing wrong with the mechanism, so it kind of has to be that, given that I've applied power to the top terminals. It took me a little bit of folding and whatnot, but eventually I managed to slot it in and it started working. I then went through the process of reassembly, and it took a couple of false starts to get the switch position quite right. But yeah, once it was fully reassembled, I was able to give it back to the kids, and they haven't wasted their pocket money in buying something that they'd broken in the supermarket, so they were pleased.
I've got a website. Remember those? gavd.co.uk.